Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are in the Johnson edition. We turn out of poem 630, The Lightning Playeth All the While. Now, Emily will only reference lightning once and only once in all of the 1,775 poems contained within the Johnson edition. However, this is another nature poem, so this is going to take us back to a number of earlier studies. The assumptions for us is that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. I'm hopeful that you've worked through our set of introductory comments as well as the preceding 629 poems. We just finished with 629. I watched the moon around the house. Now, this poem easily can be read as metaphor as well. Two sides of nature. There's the playful side and there's the destructive side. Or there's the side of lightning that you can see from a distance, but it doesn't frighten you until there's the thunder. And then, of course, there's the scary part about lightning if it strikes. I want you to notice all the hard S sibilant sounds of this poem. In some ways, maybe trying to synchronize with lightning and the idea of lightning. Again, notice the attempt here to try to describe the human condition. The lightning playeth all the while, and when he singeth, then ourselves are conscious he exists, and we approach him stern, with insulators and a glove, whose short spectral base alarms us, though his yellow feet may pass and counterpass upon the ropes above our head, continual with the news, nor we so much as check our speech, nor stop to cross ourselves. Now, it is interesting that she uses the plural here. It's not I, it's we, it's our. The lightning playeth. She loves this word play, right? We do our play in graves. You'll remember 74 different poems she's done this. But when he singeth, the lightning is masculine. Notice the idea of the moon in 629 was feminine. When he singeth, then ourselves are conscious he exists. In other words, lightning is there all the time. We're just not really conscious of it, especially if we're inside of our house or something, unless there is thunder that comes afterwards. Or, of course, if we're out walking in it and the lightning were to strike nearby, or even, heavens forbid us, right? Then all of a sudden we know, and then we're switched. In other words, we live kind of nonchalant. It's not like we care that much, and then all of a sudden, wham, the lightning strikes. And then we approach him, notice here, stern, with insulators and a glove. Emily, of course, was very in tune with a whole lot of the science that was happening around the whole notion of electricity at a time, whose short spectral base alarms us. I think the word alarm is the key. Though his yellow feet may pass and counterpass upon the ropes, in other words, the lines of carrying the electricity, above our head continually with the news. I can't help but think of her 441. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me, the tender news, she'll say, nor we so much as check our speech, nor start to cross ourselves. Now, it's, of course, an easy read to say that Emily is comparing the lightning to deity. In other words, we live as if we don't even really think very much about the power, the destructive power of nature, or, of course, if you want to read it this way, God. And then something happens. The lightning strikes, or the thunder that will follow the lightning, and then all of a sudden we're jerked away, and now we are stern, and now we are afraid. At 2a, I think the point here is that we ignore the power of nature, if you want to read it as that of deity, until obviously it's made manifest, then it kind of can freak us out or whatever. All those sounds, all those sibilant sounds are quite fascinating, right? Singeth, ourselves, conscious, exist, stern, insulators, whose, short, spectral, base, alarms, us, his, pass, counterpass, ropes, news, so, much, check, speech, stop, cross, ourselves. It's brilliant. I mean, if she wanted to make the sound with the poem, here it is. And all of that is, I think, provocative. At 3a, I can't help but read this and think about our study of Lord Byron's apostrophe to the ocean from Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. You'll remember, what did he call it? We've given full lectures at learnstrong.net. He called it a pleasing fear, the waves, right? There it was the ocean, here it's lightning. Finally, in 3b, what are your thoughts about lightning? And to what degree do you kind of go nonchalant along until all of a sudden something wakes you up? I hope Emily's poetry is waking you up. Thank you.